Alright, this match was crazy. Me and my opponent had a brilliant move, and I sacked like three or four pieces, and we still ended up with a pretty interesting end game. I'm gonna skip to the interesting part because it's a 49 move match, and I don't want to waste too much of y'all time. So it starts getting interesting about here. I go back to attack his queen or whatever, and also op making a pin on his knight. So his queen really, well, the engine, of course, want to sack the queen and take the bishop, but he gets the opportunity again because I attack his knight. Brilliant move, yay him. You know what I'm saying? I take, he take, I castle, and I started to notice that his king is in the middle of the board, so we need to do something about that. Um, he takes, get my knight in, and at this point, like I said, I'm trying to get to the king. I know it looked like I blundered, but I saw his knight. It's really a sack, my first sack. I saw his knight could take that knight, but I'm trying to open up some stuff. So I pin his bishop. He develops and unpins. And I take this pawn because in all my calculations, this pawn was stopping me from doing what I wanted to do. So second sack, sack the bishop. He takes the bishop. I want his queen gone. So I take his queen. Queen goes all the way home. Then I attack the pawn again because once again the pawn is preventing me from getting in. He defends with the rook. I attack with the knight. He pushes the pawn. I push my pawn up, not to take this bishop, but I wanted to get this queen onto this diagonal for check. He pushes again. I get in with check. He blocks with his bishop for whatever reason, and I take with the knight because I wanted to prevent his king from getting to this square. He can't go to that square now. If I would have took with the queen, he could have got there and he would have been pretty safe. So he unpins. I bring my knight back. He bring his rook up. I I have no clue with that move. I don't know. He defends his bishop. I pin his rook. He unpins again, attack his rook again. He moves it. I get in a good check. He moves his king back, and I pinned his knight because I wanted to get over here and get a little check in. He attacked my queen. I get the check that I wanted. And when he moved right here, I saw it instantly. I saw what needed to be done. Sack the rook. Get the rook. He's still in the middle. I need to get to him. So I sack my rook. He takes with the bishop, and I seen this bang, brilliant move. Bang. He has no squares. He has to take the rook. And when he takes the rook, I get this rook with check. Once again, he has no squares. This the only square he has. He has to go here. Then I get this rook with check. He has more squares this time, but he decides to go to this one. And after all that, the material is even. Everything is even at this point. But I'm winning somehow. Getting the check, check. He blocks with the pawn, check. He blocks with his queen. I'm not trading queens at this point. Check. Apparently that's a bad move. The engine said it's even now. I was not worried about this pawn in the slightest. The engine wanted me to take this pawn. I was not worried about that pawn. That's the last thing I was worried about. He moves over here, and I pin his bishop because his bishop has a chokehold on my knight. My knight can't do anything at this point. I pin his bishop to try to get my knight out. He pushes the pawn. I proceed to get my knight out. He unpin. Well, it was a good move. Mainly because I'm not trading queens. I can't trade queens for real. I moved to get out of that. He he wants to trade queens again. And I don't blame him because look how far up this pawn is. Trade the queens and try to push that pawn in. It's his idea. I move. He gets in a check. He pushes the pun. I get him a good check. He goes there. I get him another good check, and he blunders mate and one. I mean, I wish there was a more exciting end to this, but that's just what it is. He blundered mate and one. Checkmate. That's just it. I'm sorry. I wish it was a. The match was still good though. Let's take another quick look at it. Oh, this part was boring. He tried to go for the little cheeky quick mate. I wasn't having it. He go for it again. I wasn't having it. Um, if I would do anything different, I would have castled right here. Brilliant. That was his brilliant. That's let's count the sacks. I sacked the knight, sacked the bishop. Great move with the knight. So that's two sacks so far. We're gonna count that as a sack. That's a sack. That's four sacks. Three. Hold on. That was three, and that's four. And but we get everything back. Man, this probably one of my favorite matches that I ever played. It was pretty fun. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm still learning in this chess stuff. I can't teach y'all nothing, but I just want to share my experience with y'all. And that's all I got to say. Y'all have a good day. Bye.